Good morning, everybody. How's it going? How y'all doing? Happy Saturday. It's around 7:30 a.m. This San Antonio, Texas location. Ben's just ready to go on his walk. I'm using my mom's Ray Dunn mug. Tracy and then now my mom have Ray Dunn mugs. So my mom texted me a picture of a alien mug, a coffee mug with an alien, and it had like donuts. It's a green alien in a spaceship with like flying through donuts. I guess they were supposed to be the stars or something. I don't know. It was pink. It's a cool mug, but I don't need any extra mugs. I got a lot of coffee mugs. You know, I'd rather use that mug right now. But maybe I can give some away. Make some space in the little cupboard I have in anticipation of new mugs. I don't know, maybe for Christmas as a Christmas gift. Maybe. My mom said she'd get me new Nikes and I don't have to wait till Christmas in order to use them. So that's exciting. Anyway, we got Juicy. She's here at the house. They called 2 hours earlier. Said she's ready to be picked up. She can be picked up 2 hours earlier. Okay, we're on the way. My mom calls her a little pistol. But she's a really good dog, so. In fact, I told her this morning, so we were asking around the different caregivers, veteran, oh, there's somebody walking, taking out their trash at the same time I am. Very kind of synchronized feel about it. Over there by Frito. Anyway, so we asked several vets, and she's very hyperactive. She's very, if she was an element, she'd be a fire element. It's like one of the best ways I can describe that. She's not really an air element, pentacle, earth, water. She is a fire element. She's just, you know, which I think is it Sagittarius? The fire elements. I know Gemini is an air element, air sign. A Leo, obviously, and she is a Leo. And they're like, well, she's a puppy, so she's gonna be like this for 2 years. And then for some reason people felt the need to interject in that conversation. So they were like, some people said 2, some people said 3, and somebody said, I thought 3, and then it was 5 years. So thanks for your input, that you weren't even a part of the conversation. Anyway, but I told Gypsy this morning, I said, she just started jumping, and she's got really sharp teeth. She bites at me, not hard or anything, but because her teeth are so sharp, it hurts. Uh, she'll give me like a little nip on my foot or my hands. I said, no, Gypsy, you're getting too old for that. I know all the doctors said 2 years, but that's not how it's gonna be. And then she got her little chew bone and started chewing it. I was like, oh, puppy. So I don't know what y'all think about all this, but I talk to animals a lot. And maybe it's like the intent behind the conversation that's registered. I think animals are very smart. I know they say things like dogs are smart, and so much so that they're like a 3-year-old. That kind of development as far as like speech and stuff like that. But today, Saturday, I'm here to argue that I think that's a bad measurement. Dogs can be very loyal, and as far as picking up on nature, I'm sure they surpass a 3-year-old's ability in that respect. You don't expect 3-year-olds to kind of interact with their environment and stuff like that, but you definitely expect a dog to. So and again, as far as memory, I don't know. I know they say elephants are really good with memory. Because of their migration and how often they do certain migrations. I read somewhere that an elephant can remember where an elephant of the family died and can travel to that location like years and years after that happened. So yeah, I think animals are very smart, and so I don't feel weird at all when I have a conversation with an animal. Unlike maybe people on this NIST school bus route and beyond. I guess there's this kind of primitive kind of intelligence, and I don't know how else to describe it, where I wonder if it's measurable, if that's what should be measured instead. I know a lot of the times they say they measure an animal's intelligence by the tools they use. Like birds, they'll use sticks and stuff as tools to get their prey and stuff like that. Anyway, speaking of which, I'm not going to go to the zoo today. Apparently, Pat and them are going to go to the zoo. So, my mom and Tracy, I guess Tracy has off. I don't know. They're going to go eat breakfast with them. I think they met at my mom and my sister Kimmy met up with them at the Whitty Museum. And then they went to La Gloria and the Pearl. And my mom and my sisters, 2 of them, both of them, we're going to meet up with them. And then we got a call about Gypsy. Gypsy had to be picked up at 2, so that just didn't pan out. So they're going to get their little meal today at breakfast, of which, of course, I will not attend. This morning I was asking my mom, I said, She said, Mandy, I said, so they're gonna go up to Austin after? My mom said, well, Mandy's gonna uh, fly out from the airport. When she said at first they're gonna fly out, I was like, oh my gosh, they flew to Austin from San Antonio, Austin, San Antonio. She said, oh no, just Mandy. They both have, her and her boyfriend Mike both have nice jobs in New York. So I said, who paid? How does that work? Is this a modern relationship where they split it? Is it traditional? He paid? Are they going to visit his family in Christmas? And Mandy pays for the tickets on Thanksgiving, and then he pays for the tickets in Christmas? She said she didn't know. She didn't ask those questions, and that information wasn't freely given. I want to know. Apparently, they moved into an apartment together in New York. So, obviously, on this NISD school bus route, I'm wondering exactly what that entails. What is that about? Can't wait to hear the details. Anyway, so there's my rant on that. What else? I guess not much going on. I've been kind of down. You know, all this time, before it was an issue, you smoke marijuana every day. Therefore, I'm going to look at you some type of way about it. You drink every day. I'm going to look at you some type of way about it. The cat's a little banjo over here. You know what I'm saying? He's smelling a cat who is not yet awake. He's a cat just woke up. 1 second. I told him to leave that cat alone. He moved down to the next little planter segment there. So anyway, now I happen to have the time, and it's like, I guess I'm gonna go paint. You know what would be really good with painting? Oh wait. So just kind of frustrated about that, because I know people have different, lifestyles, and so this holiday I got the time, but not really much to do. So as far as special and commemorative kind of celebrating the holidays here on this NISD school bus route, absolutely ridiculous, right? But such is life, and I would go to the zoo, but like I said, I don't want to run into the Oglesbys. So if I saw them, I would straight up run the other way. Either that or say, how could you do that? You should be arrested. Treating me like that. Enabling this. What did you do to stop all of this? Yeah. And then they would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Prove it. prove it that you're a public figure. I already know how that conversation goes. But Joe, one second. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is there's so many things I would rather be doing this Thanksgiving holiday. Marijuana included, and given that I am in this situation, here, definitely be a lot better. And I would love to have this discussion of I guess responsibilities of a role model and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna really have this discussion any farther. But all my YouTube videos, they ask, they have a yes or no question. It says, is this video suitable for children? And everyone, I say no. So make that somebody else's decision. That's for you to decide. But as far as all that goes, I'm gonna say no. Before and after 2021, January 2021. But yeah. What else? Well, there's no cars parked in the wrong place today. But there is the boner truck, so there's that. What else? I did my sister Kimmy's nails for her birthday, on her birthday, when we didn't go to the botanical gardens, but we played games here. I think we played that card game Pig. I don't know if y'all have played it. We used to play it in Austin. You have to get 4 of a kind, and you can only have 5 cards in your hand. And when you get that 4 of a kind, you put your hand on your nose. And the last person who does that loses. And you kind of want to try to do that at a fast pace. That's the whole point. But anyway, Tracy got her some nail polish, so she brought over her nail polish in addition. So I did her nails, and Kimmy said the people at work complimented her nails. So that's nice. What else? HEB Cafe Olay has this new pumpkin spice flavor coffee. I've been really enjoying that. What else? Yeah, I would love to have a conversation about marijuana usage. Obviously, I think it should be legal. And I guess the basic general argument I'll have for that is if somebody can, the testing of it, right? I think with some more illicit substances, it doesn't show up in a drug test. Unless maybe it's hair. Maybe you have a hair drug test. I'm not sure. But it's always been my sentiment. I said, I think whether it's like in the military or the FBI or whatever, and obviously law enforcement officer, because depending on the legality of marijuana in your state, I think Texas has gotten maybe medical marijuana. I'm not sure when though, because when I went to the hospital, when I was sent to the psych ward in October of 2021 at University Hospital, which has since expanded. The entire medical center has expanded. Not just the medical center. I think there's uh, they've have multiple locations over the city. I think it's either UTSA or UT. But anyway, when I got sent to the psych ward in October 2021, they were talking about like medical marijuana vans. I guess there's doctors or prescribers of medical marijuana, and they can use a van to do so. And here in the state of Texas. So that was part of that conversation in October of 2021. So really, I think dogs aren't supposed to eat this. Anyway, yeah, so it's always been my sentiment. I was like, you know what? If you can have like, if you can party it up with liquor and then go to work the next day, I don't see why marijuana would be an issue. So you can, the alcohol is fine, and if you can handle your stuff, you know, if you're not stupid about it, it doesn't affect your job, then there's really nothing your place of employment can say about it. So I said, well, why would that have to exclude marijuana? Especially considering obvious medicinal value of it. One second. So yeah, I'd love to have a conversation about it, but I'm just a little, what do you call it? A little hesitant right now. It's a mind expanding. They want to say it's escapism. And you know, I would say obviously there's different situations for different people and stuff like that, but I mean, what's so bad with that? As far as escapism, it could just be a manner of perspective, right? Here's my perspective right now. I were to smoke marijuana, I would be in a perspective. I would escape. I guess is what you could call it, but just kind of get a different perspective of things. And obviously it's not something like I'm scared of. You know, some people worry about it, maybe because they're new to it. But, you know, and I guess that's kind of there with alcohol too. I talked to my mom about hemp parts for Gypsy. I said, you know, I never really worried about that with banjo. Like just kind of a calming aid. And she said there's like, if you're this size dog, they recommend this dosage, and I think they recommend for the dog to be 2 years. I said, well, maybe that's like the processed stuff, or I don't know, because I know with marijuana, it's different than alcohol, right? With alcohol, you know, obviously it's going to affect people, but there's the factor of your height and weight and stuff like that is a bit of a factor in all that. Um, but with marijuana, it's less so of a factor. You can be the tallest, biggest person, and that not really there not be kind of like a I don't know, a cushion there, a room for error. I don't know what they call it. Marijuana really affects people across the board. It doesn't affect somebody less because of their height and weight. So, um, but yeah, it gives you a different perspective and introspection and the world and how everything connects. Maybe a certain type of appreciation. They say escapism, but my argument there would be like uh, there might be that, but there's some things where you appreciate more. You say you do a task, and not necessarily like a chore or something, but like painting. You paint, and then you can smoke a little marijuana and then paint, and then it's just different. Um, and of course, I feel very comfortable about having this conversation now, seeing as I have not partook since February of 2022. So there's that. But anyway, yeah, that's that. Um, what else? Yeah, I guess that's it. 30 minutes. Okay. Well, I guess that's my chat today. Oh, and another thing about it is, it affects people differently, and you can have a history of marijuana, and I think that definitely influences all that stuff. And so I think it would also be interesting to see, that argument of big pharma versus marijuana. So, um, obviously, as far as facts go, my schizophrenia diagnosis, I'm probably not the best person to be sharing this information, but maybe I am. Just throwing that out there. Is, they say that there's a over medication problem. And they say, oh, you shouldn't self-medicate. And I guess that's an argument to be made. And, I don't know what you got going on, so I'm not gonna, I'm going for a freedom and non-judgment stance here. And as far as the marijuana intake goes, I'm certainly not regretting my marijuana usage now. Maybe perceived judgment is what I'm a little bit more sour about. But anyway, I guess I'm just wondering, since we hear about an over-medicated society, I think it would be interesting to see if marijuana was just legalized across the board, how that would work out, and as far as like stocks and stuff like that, how that would work out. I mean, you don't really want to bet on people taking antidepressants, right? I mean, there's different ways to make money, and again, I don't want to judge y'all or anything, but wouldn't it be great if that money could be made somewhere else? um, and plus, I always thought about marijuana was, uh, I mean, I guess you can take it as a tablet, but it's very much, it is like a self medicating type situation. Um, you kind of measure that for yourself. If a doctor says you need to have 3 joints or whatever, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's kind of like, but it doesn't make sense to do that. To me, I mean, I don't know what y'all got going on, but I think if it's something like psychological and stuff like that, maybe this self-medication isn't a bad way to go. And I think I had this YouTube video conversation at the zoo near the Nile crocodile. And as far as psychology and all that stuff, maybe it isn't such a bad thing to be depending on yourself, have an internal dependence, independence type situation, along with, what do you got, a therapist or something? Along with that too. I was thinking the other day, I said, I wonder if there's therapists out there that might try like a therapy session and include tarot cards. Because that wouldn't be so bad, right? Depending on the patient, of course, right? Anyway. So yeah. As far as where I've always been at, and it's always kind of just been a steady, constant thing, is marijuana has always been always helpful. And if you want to use my life as an example, I mean, feel free to do so. And I think you can just do a couple clicks on your computer and do that. But anyway, people can say, oh, the cause was marijuana usage, and then my argument to that would be, what would happen if there wasn't marijuana usage and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, things could have been worse. I could have had worse feelings and stuff like that, and obviously things can be evaluated, but yeah. I guess what I'm saying is I've always seen it as something positive. And I don't know, I guess I consider myself lucky. I mean, y'all know I consider myself lucky for a lot of reasons. But I consider myself lucky because I was able to stop all that stuff when I wanted. Before February 2021. I was always like, I'm an adult. I'm gonna stop drinking when I want to stop drinking. And obviously, there are nights that are quite regretful. Nights where it was just kind of like, well, you should have stopped drinking there. That should have been the time. But that being said, I do consider myself lucky that the transition, that it did turn out that way. When I wanted to stop drinking, I did. And it, I think it does have a lot to do with your environment. You know, here I am. And I'm going to say it does have a lot to do with your environment, I guess, internal environment, and obviously the people around you. Like I said, nobody asked me to stop drinking, so it was just the marijuana and my mom. But anyway, well, that being said, I want to put my art studio right there. Paint a little bit. The weather is nice. I'm not stepping out here and just starting to sweat in this 80-90 degree weather. But anyways, I feel confident that I'll probably have this conversation in the future. A back and forth conversation. You know. It might be a 30-minute conversation. Who knows? But anyway. A conversation that doesn't include this fence. Fences. So yeah. And obviously coffee too. Oh my gosh. Anyway. I'll talk to y'all later. I keep telling myself I got everything to look forward to. So. That hasn't changed. And again, I'm lucky about it. Speaking of conversations I hope to have in the future. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later. Happy weekend.